Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mr. Abel. Welcome to today's presentation. We are going to talk about how to use our prior knowledge of mathematics into the real world. A lot of you guys ask, Mr. Abel, when are we going to ever use this stuff? You know, when are we going to ever use this math in real life? Well, today I'm going to show you. Okay, so our topic has been agriculture. Okay, and we're going to relate with the science department and the agriculture department. But we're going to use our prior knowledge of mathematics, we were going to do about geometry, ratios and proportionalities. We're going to do expressions and equations. Okay, we're going to learn how to cross multiply, inverse property. Okay, and we're going to solve. Our goal is to find out how many watermelon we can yield from a certain crop field. Okay, so what I did here, I gave you guys an example. Okay, we have a crop field here. It's 50 feet wide by 40 feet long. Okay, we have our variables here. Each variable represents something. Okay, P is going to represent the number of plants. W will represent our watermelons. C is going to represent our columns. Remember, columns go up and down, rows go left and right. S is our section. So each little box here is a section. We'll call those sections. And B is boxes. Boxes we'll get into at the end of the lesson. Okay, this is our given information here. Okay, for every 10 by 10 area, 10 by 10 feet area, there's 5 plants. Well, if it's 50 feet wide, I split it up into 5 different sections. So each section is 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet. And it's 40 feet long, so I went 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet. That's 4 sections. So each one of these is a 10 by 10. Okay? Each one of these sections is 10 by 10. Okay? We also know that's given is for every one plant, there's 3 watermelons. Okay, so in each section, there's 5 plants. So we got 5 plants here, we got 5 plants here. Every section has 5 plants, and every plant has 3 watermelon. Okay, and then again, one box can hold up to 20 watermelon. We're gonna get to that later. So our goal is to find out how much watermelon we can yield from this particular field. Okay, so we split them up in different sections, right? All equal, 10 by 10, 10 by 10, 10 by 10. We all know that, okay? And all by columns. So let's first figure out how many watermelon are going to be in each section. Well, if I know for every one section, there is a total of 5 plants, right? And I know that every plant, for every one plant, there is a total of 3 watermelon. So to solve this, we cross multiply, right? So 1 times 1, we know that equals 1. 5 times 3 is 15. So I know that there is going to be 15 watermelon in each section. Okay, so I'm going to put that as our learned information right here. Okay, so for every one section, that equals 15 watermelon. Okay, so that is the information that we learned. So I know that, okay? So I'm gonna erase that part right there, so okay. So now, let's figure out how many watermelon, or no, let's see, how many plants are in each column. Well, in each column, there's 4 sections, okay? So one column has 4 sections, right? And if we know that in each section there's 5 plants, so we got 5 plants for one section, again, we cross multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 1 is 1. So every column is going to have a total of 20 plants. So one column has a total of 20 plants. So this is all information that we are learning. Okay? Again, sorry about the markers, they're kind of going out. This is all information that we are learning here, which is good because we can use this to find out anything we want. Okay, I can give you any problem when we find out this information. Okay, let's find out how many plants total are in this whole field. Well, first off, how many columns do we have? We split it up into 5. So in this whole field, we have 5 columns. Okay? And we want to figure out how many plants. We want to figure out how many plants are in this whole column? Well, we know that in every column there's 20 plants. So every one column there's 20 plants, right? So again, cross multiply. What is 5 times 20? 5 times 20 is 100. There's 100 plants for the whole field, so the crop field. There's 100 total plants in the whole entire field. Let's write that down. So in that whole field, we have 100 plants. Now let's write an equation of how to solve how many total watermelons. So we want to know how much total watermelon we can yield from this information. If there's 100 plants, and how many, we got to think to ourselves, or use our information. How many watermelon per plant? It says right here, we get 3 watermelon for every 1 plant. So we get 3 watermelon for the X amount of plants. X amount of plants. Or we'll put P, because P represents plants. Well, we just find out how many plants total in the whole field. There's 100. So I'm going to substitute this 100 for the P. So this equals 3 times 100. What's 3 times 100? It's 300. So there is a total of 300 plants, or I'm sorry, 300 watermelon in this whole entire field. And we found that out with our given information using ratios and proportionality and expressions and equations. So use this information, refer back to, and what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you questions, random questions, maybe how many are in 2 rows, how many are in 2 columns. What if there's 4 watermelons for every plant? Okay, I'm going to mix it up, and you're going to use these methods to solve, to find out information, how much watermelon we can yield. Thank you for watching today's presentation. Please, again, refer back to this anytime. It will be in your Google Classroom, and I hope you guys have a great day.